My wife went into labor early, so I rushed to get a flight home. Only when I got to my seat, a man was sitting there and refused to move. And we both ended up in a cell. My wife, 32F, was 8 months along carrying our child when I, 34M, was sent out of town for a business meeting. My wife told me it would be okay to go as we needed the extra money anyway, and the baby wasn't due for another month. Apparently my son decided he wanted to come out a bit earlier though, because I was more than 6 hours away by plane. When my sister called me in a panic saying my wife was going into labor, I started freaking out and she told me to calm down and get back as soon as possible. I didn't want to miss the birth of my son and just not be there for my wife, so I told my boss I had to fly back home. I booked a ticket on the very next flight I could make, and literally had to run to the gate. I barely made it before they closed the doors. I was completely out of breath and trying to squeeze by everyone else to get to my seat, when I saw someone already sitting down. I checked my boarding pass again to make sure before I asked the man to please move as this was my seat. He told me he liked this one and wasn't going to move. At this point I didn't care, so I asked him where his seat was, but he wouldn't give me an answer. The flight attendant came over and told me I needed to sit down, so I explained the situation to her. She saw my boarding pass and asked the man to show his. He just shrugged and leaned his chair back. She got more stern and asked him again, but he just pretended to fall asleep. She had to